On the northwest of the Turkey and on the north of the Istanbul, the Black Sea lies. On the south of the Istanbul, there is an inner sea, Marmara Sea lies, and in these between two seas there are two important sea kind channels. The first one is Golden Horn, and the other one is Bosphorus, which connects the Black Sea to the Mediterranean. And Istanbul also is one of the cities that has two continents in itself, Europe and Asia. Now we are in the European continent, and in the boat, we will see the Asia part of the Istanbul as well. Another city that has two continents in itself, which is located on the southern side of the Istanbul city, called Çanakkale. The ancient name of the Çanakkale is Dardanelles, and Çanakkale also has two continents in itself and Bosphorus in itself, and the Bosphorus in Çanakkale connects Black Sea to the Aegean Sea. That is why for trade ships these Bosphorus are so important. And the Istanbul's official population is 16 million people. Without the account, like the refugees, immigrants, the population reaches 20 million people. That is why we are seeing some rush hours during the day, like right now, but on the left hand side. Istanbul has been used as a capital city more than 1,000 years, but now the Turkey's capital city is located in the central Anatolia. Ankara is the Turkey's capital city after the founding of new Turkish Republic in 1923. But Istanbul is still seeming as the capital city for culture, for economy, and of course for the history. And Istanbul has a rich history. The history of Istanbul dates back to the 6th century BC. During the 6th century BC, there was a kingdom that we call Byzantium Empire. They were originally from Megara, Greece, and their king was Byzas, and they were pagans. They were believing in multiple gods. And also the city's name was not Istanbul back then. The city's official name was Byzantium, which means the city of the Byzas. And they have ruled these areas till 2nd century AD. During the 2nd century AD, the power of the world was the Roman Empire, and they have took the control of the Europe, of course, Asia, Africa, and Anatolia. So they needed to find a second capital for controlling these continents, because from Rome it was not easy to control the Europe and Asia and Africa. So the Constantine, the great emperor, came to the Byzantium city, and he saw the beauty and the location of it, because strategically Istanbul is so important. That is why you are doing a transit flight. And back in times it was also important for transit occasions as well. So after Constantine saw the beauty and the location of the city, he wanted to build his second capital in the Byzantium city, and he has gave the order to build some structures all around the city that looks like exactly like the Rome city, because he had a wish. He wanted to build the city looks exactly like the Rome city, and he changed the city's name as Nuova Roma, which means the new Rome. And some years later, people forgot the name Nuova Roma. They started to call this city as Constantinopolis. Polis means city in Latin languages, and Constantinople means the city of the Constantine, because he was the one who built their second capital, and he has gave the order to build the ancient city walls of the Constantinople, which goes 22 kilometers away and covers all the historical peninsula where the ancient Constantinople located. And also he has gave the order to build aqueducts for water transportation, palaces, Roman palaces as well, fountains, and also cisterns for water storage. And in the 4th century After the Romans to accept the Christianity as their official religion, Constantinople became the main city of the Orthodox religion, and the Romans have built the world's oldest cathedral, Hagia Sophia, or Santa Sofia in the 6th century. We will also see the Hagia Sophia from our bus today. And after the acceptance of the Christianity, Hagia Sophia became the main church of the Orthodox religion. That is why religiously Istanbul is so important. It was the Hagia Sophia was used as this more than 1,000 years till 15th century. During the 15th century, the Eastern Roman Empire was getting smaller and smaller day by day. They have lost the lands that located in the Asia, Anatolia and Europe. They had only their capital city, Constantinople, in their hands, and during that time the Ottoman Turks have already conquered these areas. They didn't only conquer the Constantinople, because Constantinople is covered with one of the strongest city walls of the world, which goes 22 kilometers away, and also the Constantine also covered with 3 seas, the Golden Horn, Bosphorus, and the Marmara Sea. That is why it was impossible to attack from the sea, and also the Romans have put some chains under the sea, so that if any enemy ship wanted to attack the city from the seaside, they just pulled over these chains, and the enemy ships couldn't enter the Constantinople city. But in the 15th century, the things has been changed. There was a man whose name was Mehmet II, an Ottoman emperor. He changed the rules because he brought his ships, instead of bringing from the sea, he brought his ships over the land, and he settled right in the middle of the Golden Horn, and he attacked the city from the Golden Horn part, which we will see in a few minutes. And he conquered the Constantinople in 1453. And Constantinople became the capital city of the Ottoman Empire. Mehmet II is so important because he is the one who ended the Roman Empire, and also by the conquest of the Constantinople, the medieval age has ended and the new age has begun. That is why Mehmet II is so important. And after the conquest of the Constantinople, people gave the nickname to the Mehmet II as conqueror, and which means Fatih in Turkish. So, after the conquest of the Constantinople, the Ottoman Turks didn't change the city's name. They still use the Constantinople as the city's official name, but the spelling was just different in Turkish. In Turkish they said Konstantiniye. And the Ottomans were an Islamic country. They were ruled by the Islamic rules, and the Ottoman emperors were also the caliphates of the Islam. And after the conquest, the Constantinople became the symbol of the Islam as well. The Ottomans have ruled these areas till 20th century. In the beginning of the 1950s, when the World War I has started, the Ottoman Empire was under occupation by the other nations. For instance, Constantinople was occupied by the Greeks, and the rest of the Turkey was occupied by the Italians. The east side of the Turkey, eastern region of the Turkey was occupied by the Armenians. The Mediterranean part of the Turkey was occupied by the French. We had only central Anatolia in our hands during that time, and there was a soldier, an Ottoman soldier, whose name was Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. He and his friends started an independence war, a liberation war against these occupation nations, and they have won it. And Mustafa Kemal Atatürk found the new Turkish Republic in 1923. He is the one who brought the democracy to the country. And the late period of the Ottoman Empire was under corruption of the religion, unfortunately. Some bad people used religion to influence the people. So now, after the founding of new Turkish Republic, Turkey has no official religion. It is a secular country. Of course, half of the population believes in Islam, but it is not the official religion. Turkey is a secular country. Everyone is free how to live, what to believe. Turkey is a multicultural, multi-religious country. You can understand from here, because after the conquest of the Constantinople, the amount of the population was the Greeks, and they have left the city after the conquest. But Mehmet II, the conqueror, said to them, "You can return to your hometowns. I will give you the permission to build houses, to build churches, and to build schools." And he gave the Balat district, which is one of the famous districts of the Istanbul city, to them. And they have built their main church, Aya Yorgi, the Ecumenic Patriarchy. The Ecumenic Patriarchy of Greek Orthodox religion is in Istanbul. Their central is Istanbul. That is why, and their patriarch is Bartholomeus I. That is why for the Greeks, Istanbul is like the Vatican City, because their main church is located in here, in Istanbul, Aya Yorgi Church. So, but in the 19th century, as I said, the Ottoman Turks didn't change the city's name. They still used Constantinople as the city's official name, but I keep saying Istanbul, Istanbul, Istanbul. If the Ottomans didn't change the city's name, why I keep saying Istanbul as the city's official name? Any idea? What is the meaning of the Istanbul? Why do people keep continue to say Istanbul, not Constantinople? Any ideas? No? Okay. So in the 19th century, the city's name has changed for the last time. The people who were living outside of the ancient city walls of the capital city called this city as Istanbul, which means through the city center. Like we are going through the city center. And this means Istanbul in Greek and Latin languages. And this name evolved to Istanbul, 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 which means through the city center, which we are going to the city center. And this is the evolution of the Istanbul's name. Istanbul has seen 4 great empires during their time: Byzantium Empire, Byzantium City; Eastern Roman Empire, Nuova Roma, Constantinople; Ottoman Empire, Latin Empire, also Constantinople; and the Ottoman Empire, Constantinople, and for the last time, the Turkish Republic, Istanbul.
진짜 많잖아. 거리. 거리 나 빠짐 소리 보이네. chỉ thà là vì mà chỉ kêu là họ lôi mà phải 빠짐 다 또 그 더 자라니라 안에 부양 나 옆에 있는 안에 다른 전략 그냥 지금 잡네. 좋아. 아니 이제 출연해요. 또 얘가 베나비 Elsa, Aisel, senza kita kaya coba untuk jalan jalan aja untuk jalan visa.
Ladies and gents, we will see a lot of mosques today from our bus and also from the boats. In Istanbul, there are more than 3,000 mosques with the new ones and the old ones. Please don't ask me any of them because I don't know each of them. Because 3,000 mosques, I cannot know every names. Of course, I will tell you when we will see the other most important ones. Ladies and gents, you can see the streets are full of the national flags of the flag of the Turkey and also the other flags, the other parties, because tomorrow will be the elections, the presidential elections. That is why they have put the flags everywhere around the country. Building, it belongs to the Navy of the Turkey. It's now under restoration. Ladies and gents, we are passing through the Beyoğlu district right now. On our left hand side, the top of the hill called as Beyoğlu. The ancient name of the Beyoğlu is Pera, and there is also a famous hotel that located in the Beyoğlu district called Pera Palace Hotel. It was built in the 19th century, and also the famous writer Agatha Christie wrote her novel Murder in the Orient Express in the Pera Palace Hotel. Now the room that she used during her works has been turned into a museum. If you want to come again to the Istanbul, I suggest you to visit the Pera Palace Hotel. Ladies and gents, in front of us we are seeing the historical peninsula of the Istanbul. Across is still the European continent, by the way, and we are seeing the Golden Horn on our right hand side. Golden Horn is a natural bay, natural harbor, especially used by the imperial ships of the Roman and the Ottoman Empire. And this is where the Golden Horn is where the conqueror Mehmed conquered the Constantinople city. And the across is the historical peninsula, the old town of the Istanbul city. And on our right hand side we are seeing a fountain, imperial fountain, which was built during the Ottoman period. The municipality of the Istanbul doing the restorations. Ladies and gents, in a few minutes we will leave our bus and we will take the boat. You can leave your stuff in the bus. Just take what you need, a coat maybe, because the boat will be a little bit windy. The other thing you can leave in the bus. You don't need to carry with yourselves because the same bus will come to take us at the end of the tour.